All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on resources to fuel your ministry. We are so excited to have you here, and to be respectful of everyone's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Just a few housekeeping pointers as we get started. You can use the chat function to ask any questions. Please send any questions about the material to the panelists. And if you have any technical support needs, you can send those to me, the host. We'll be happy to get those taken care of. And we're going to be taking those questions as we go along, but then we'll be answering those towards the end. So stick around for that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our connectional relations team with Jackie and Kelly.
Thanks, Jensen. Well, good morning, afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from today. We're excited to talk with you about the resources to fuel your ministry. As Jensen said, I'm Kelly Schmiel. I'm the relationship director here at UMC Support in our connectional relations department. And I'm joined by Jackie Givens, who's our relationship manager. We're going to go through the areas of focus in today's webinar. Before we get started, I just want to do kind of a quick overview of who UMC Support is. So UMC Support is GCFA's service brand. So GCFA is responsible for the data collection, the copyright, the legal, the finances of our church. UMC Support's sole purpose is to help you offset your administrative needs so you can put that back into your ministry. Today, we're going to walk you through the free resources that we have available to the connection. These are all on our website. We have a slide deck, and we're gonna share that afterwards. We're gonna send that out to everyone who's registered. In the slide deck, everything's hyperlinked, but we're gonna walk you through where these resources are on our website on the resources page. And the areas that we're going to go over, and we're going to go over a lot. We're going to start with communications and marketing, data, finance, HR, legal, IT, travel and meeting planning, our ministry partnerships, denominational discounts. We recently unveiled our new website that we're going to show you today, and we just wanted to make sure that you all were all aware of all of these resources that are available to you all. Let me start. Let me share my screen. Okay. So here is our website, and up here at the top, you can see the resources drop down. So that's kind of what we're going to be going through today. The first one I just want to highlight is our free pastor appreciation graphics. I don't know if you all know this, but October is Pastor Appreciation Month. So we have this free downloadable guide that if you are in a local church, I know we have people from all over that have joined this today. But if you are in a local church, you can show appreciation for your pastors and leadership staff with these graphics. Okay, the next one I want to take you all to is boosting your church's online presence. So all of these resources under the communications and marketing umbrella were developed by our communications and marketing staff. These are a lot of questions that we get in our inbox, frequently asked questions. So these are kind of the ones we wanted to highlight today. We get a lot of questions about churches' websites. So this guide will kind of help you all, will walk you through maximizing your church's online presence and explain how a search engine optimization, it makes your website more visible to your local community by helping them find you and discover more about your church online. The next one I just want to bring your all's attention to is the things to consider when building your website. This kind of walks you through the questions you should ask before building your website, and to really think about your church's website, how it serves your ministry, to think of it as your online front door, more or less, where the first impressions are made. Some of the top priorities you need to consider for your website is how welcoming it is, authentic, and user-friendly. This guide goes over the different action points to consider as you reevaluate your website, or again, if you are starting from scratch. Okay. The next one is the ministry website worksheet. So again, kind of continuing on website topics. This tool was developed to help give our ministries a questionnaire as kind of a first step when thinking about your current and new website. So again, it's a downloadable resource, and it's something you can print out with you and your team to go over the things to consider when starting this process. And then this is our final one for communications and marketing. Okay, is the website management tips. So some of the tips on this, including thinking about incorporating your social media post. A lot of times we find that the website is not up to date as your social media. So just kind of thinking through, like, as you update your Facebook page, that you're also going in and updating your website. And making sure your messaging is consistent and everything is up to date. So making like the content a priority, either with your team or other people to review content. Okay. Hey, Jackie. Oh, you're muted.
Thank you. All right. Can you stop sharing maybe? Are you still sharing?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Yep.
That's all right. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to start talking to you about some other areas at GCFA. I'm Jackie Gibbons. I'm your Connectional Relationship Manager. I'm usually your first touch when you have questions about resources that are available, questions that you have about programming or processing or how the function of GCFA works, as well as resources in particular that you want to get set up with. Sometimes you might not exactly know who to reach out to, so please feel free to always ask me questions. So the area that I'm going to touch on now is data services. So this is the resource page that we've been looking at. I'm going to go to the top here. And this is also going to help you maneuver a little bit. So if you're watching what I'm doing, then you'll get ideas about how to maneuver. One other thing is I want to say is if you have questions, we're open to all questions and we welcome them. We're going to just try to move through this material pretty quickly, and then we'll answer questions at the end. I'm not sure if Kelly already said that. So in this data services resources, you see they have 3 out here that are very generalized, the acronym guide, because we know the church uses acronyms for everything. So this guide will help you to understand what's being meant by certain terminology. I'm not going to click down in it. I just want you to see that. And once you click here, the booklet will show up. And next is reporting, concerns about worship reporting and how that works in Chronicles or for your stats, and then data terms. So that's just high level resources that are out there for you. Now I'm going to go to the services page for data services and talk a little bit about Chronicles and AC stats and what tends to be the most actioned requests for information regarding that. So policies regarding data services are data sharing policies, again, the terms, and then forms you can find here on that services page, as well as the current stats that are available. And then information in these various languages on the tables 1, 2, and 3. I think table 3 gets a lot of questions. So those are available to you to access. Data services doesn't sell a service. This is part of what we do by discipline, but the information is there for you to start with. Again, if you have any other questions, then you can feel free always to reach directly out to me, and then I will follow up with the data services team about any information like that. So the second area that I want to speak on a little bit about is the finance area, another area where we get a lot of questions. And so we also have some free resources out here for you to review. those in terms of what are best practices. Tools, here's the tools for your church in terms of understanding electronic giving. There's an interactive guide here that talks a little bit about what you can do, how to use the giving, the types of giving, and also choosing a vendor to work through. So the biggest part of all of this is that you all come here to find best practices, to find ideas about how to get started, and also to measure sort of how are you in line with best practices. You may find that you've really got it down really well, or you may find that there's some things that you want to kind of shim up and, get some support on moving forward. So these are the, good accounting controls. That's a question that comes in a lot. I'm going to show you this roadmap. So it talks about what are the best practices with accounting, and it starts with giving. So it starts with the giving and walks you through just basic how should you move forward with tracking and protecting yourself from fraud, and also just making sure that your bank accounts match up with what the giving shows. So I'm going to go out of that. Also, I want to show you on the finance page, they have videos out here in a brochure. We do offer some financial services, but they tend to be for agencies and annual conferences. But we're always here to support you beyond that. We're always here to answer questions. But one thing that also comes up quite often is the reports. So financial reporting, the reports, the summaries on the reports that GCFA is required to provide, you can also find on our website. And then if you have questions about those reports, please feel free to come back and chat with me, and I will get you answers. I think now we're going to go into human resources.
Yes. Okay. And as Jackie was saying, when she said, if you have questions at the end of all of our pages, there's a contact us form that goes directly to us. And so then we can be in contact with you to answer whatever questions you might have. So as Jackie said, we're going to go into HR real quick. So I know a lot of you all know the world of HR is pretty daunting. It's a lot to keep up with all the regulations, the changing of employment laws. We get a lot of questions about HR, and we just wanted, again, to point out what some of these are. So the benefits of conducting an HR assessment for your ministry. This kind of walks you through what that is. To kind of show you how to effectively manage your staff so you all can reach your goals. It goes through how to streamline your current process, auditing your personnel files. We get a lot of questions on that, just to make sure that you're compliant with federal laws. It also helps you identify, your culture, your goals, your resources, so you can kind of discover if any internal policies and procedures that aren't working, and so then you can make the necessary changes so it's more effective. Okay. The next one, onboarding virtual new hires. This was a big thing we got a lot of questions about post 2020. After we all kind of are working a little bit differently. I know we used to be 100% in the office. We're pretty much mostly remote now. We do go in some, but we've hired we've hired people in other areas. So this ended up being a really good resource that we learned from, but also wanted to share with you all as well. So it comes up with how the new hires that are virtual can feel connected to your ministry, and so that more or less they're set up for success when they start. There's also an onboarding checklist, again, that kind of helps you all, gives you some guidance. It's another downloadable resource, but kind of walks you through that onboarding process so you can build an efficient and productive work environment. there's a lot of HR on here. We're only going through a couple of them, but now that you all know where these resources are, you can come to them as well. It's not just the ones that we're highlighting. Managing performance do's and don'ts. We get a lot of questions about this. It's a 1-hour webinar, and it really gives you a deep dive in why performance evaluations are so critical, not only to the employee, but for the organization and for employee development. It gives a step-by-step plan so you can effectively manage and document your employees' performance. Okay. And then staff recruiting. This also kind of walks you through how that works. Crafting a job description, tips on where to post. So you get a large and diverse pool of candidates, how to screen those candidates to kind of help you identify the most qualified people, walks you through the in-person interview process, and then extending a job offer. And then a compensation study. We get a lot of questions about this. It's another downloadable guide on how to conduct a compensation study. The studies kind of analyze your wage rate, salaries, benefits to see if your salaries are competitive for your industry and for your location, so that you're also compliant with employment laws. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jackie for legal.
Okay. So legal is a big one that we get a lot of. And just like data services, it's not necessarily a service area. We don't provide services there. This is also part of our function by discipline. So we get a lot of questions. Right now, you'll notice that I am on the legal services page. I want to give you a little guidance as you go along. Kelly has been showing you the resources page that lists all the different resources related to the different areas. Okay. But you can also go to the services page and also access the resources from that page. So that's true of all the departments. So there's more than one way to get to your information. Now, with legal services, these are the key areas of information that are often asked about. Particularly group ruling. I have many questions about getting the EIN, the nonprofit status, and through group ruling, we can help get that status provided for churches and affiliated UMC organizations without you having to go directly to the IRS. We find that really beneficial. The legal manual discusses a lot about all the UMC position on different areas of legality. I'm going to click on that a little bit and see. It's coming up slowly. Okay. So clergy housing, reimbursements, just all the different areas to which we have a policy that is a UMC policy. It's not necessarily a GCFA versus any other group. This is UMC as a whole. And this is part of the work that we do in line with the discipline. How you may use the cross and flame, how it cannot be used without paying some income residual from that. Just different areas of legal concern that we have an opinion on or a policy that we use. Minimum insurance requirements and proper standards, any other legal resources and forms that you might need. And then if you have a question, you can definitely ask us. Again, even with asking our experts, all of this will come directly to our connectional relations inbox, where we'll find ways to get your questions answered or connect you with a legal resource. So on the resources page, you'll find some of the key areas that we have discussion on, which includes reimbursements. There's webinars. That's the other thing we want to make sure you understand. Not only are there PDFs, checklists, and forms available to you out here on our website, there are also webinars that you'll be able to watch and enjoy. And if you have not, we're unable to register for that webinar, then you can also see it in the archives. So I think now I want to move to IT. So I'm going to start on the IT services page. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of information out here on IT because it's an area where we just get so much engagement. There's so much detail and expertise involved in this area. So you will find many, many resources out here available to you to look through. This is some of the top ones here. Right now, it is Cyber Security Month. So there's all kinds of information out here on cybersecurity, how to prevent it, what you can understand about how it happens. There are webinars that we have available to you. In addition, we have discounts available to you for software, which is Microsoft Office 365 as well as Adobe. We will have different webinars available to you about technology updates, just many things. And I just don't even want to begin to try to figure out which one is going to be the best one to deep dive in, because there's just so much. And also there'll be a bunch out here about how to provide AV support, purchase hardware, purchase software, just loads and loads of information on IT. Again, with the same concept that if there's something you have a question about, the thing about technology is every platform is very different. Hardware is very different. So your best options are weighed by what you have for network hardware and software. And that's something we have staff that can discuss with you and give you alternatives, also alternatives that help support your budget. So, if there are any questions in particular about that, please put those in the chat and we'll speak to them specifically. But there's just a lot of information out here for you to help guide you in the right direction. Thank you.
Hey, we're kind of moving through this.
Mm-hmm.
The one of the last, at least, kind of service areas that we'll highlight on is our travel and meeting planning. Also think of it as event management. If you will host events, Vacation Bible School, or any other kind of events at your church or your conference office, your university, whoever is calling in today, planning events can be overwhelming. There's always something that probably goes wrong. And so there's different checklists on here to kind of help you post plan. So your events can be a success. Just kind of walking you through here. So there's a pre-event checklist. There's a post-event checklist. This kind of helps you think through the most important parts of the objectives of whatever your event is. Go over that so you can at least have it written down, think about it. I know for us, writing things down and talking about it always makes you think of other things like, oh yeah, we need to consider that. Jackie and I were at an event about a month ago, and it was a dinner, and they forgot drinks, so there was no drinks at the event. So just basic things that sometimes the most basic are the easiest ones to forget. So the post event, it kind of goes, oh sorry, that's the wrong one. But it goes through, things that went wrong, kind of how you can troubleshoot that the next time around. Negotiating contracts. That's a question our travel and meeting planning get a lot. I don't know if you have to have any of your events in separate spaces, but this kind of walks you through just the different things to consider, reading contracts and legal language, and kind of putting through, it's a checklist of things to consider when you're having to negotiate a contract. I know this came up too, again, in 2020, a lot with our annual conferences that were supposed to have happened in the summer of 2020. And then when they needed to cancel their event, like looking back over those contracts and seeing what they were responsible for or what they weren't. And then the last one I'll just highlight on here, large church events. And again, it's just kind of a checklist of why you're doing the event, establishing your budget, all the things that you have to think of. Don't do an event alone, build a team. thinking through the location. So again, there's a lot of resources out here, especially for travel and meeting planning. And again, just if you joined us late, this is on our page, our website. So it's gcfa.org. Up at the top is where all these resources, this whole resources page is, and it's divided up amongst the areas we just talked through. One thing I just kind of want to also, I know it's in our agenda, but I want to make sure you all are aware. That's kind of the idea behind today's webinar, is making sure that you are aware of the resources that are available to all of you through the website, through the different trainings that we showed. We also have, it's our ministry partner program. So we created this program to kind of help streamline the process of, is this, a socially responsible business? So we vet them through church and society, and then we have a separate group that's made up of our board that also vets our partners. We just want to make sure that, they're in line with our denomination social principles. But a lot of these partners, like Ace, Home Depot, Staples, you can kind of see, and I'll just sorry if I hope I'm not making anyone dizzy. I'm just on the main partner page, but each of our partners has their own page. If you're interested in signing up, they have a kind of a resources over here too of, church needs, commercial cleaning. So this is Ace Hardware. So Ace and Staples and Home Depot all have their separate discount programs that you sign up through us to get the discounts that are available to our connection. Home Depot has a partnership with us where you get 20% off of all of paints and stains. I know a lot of you all have, a lot of space in your churches, your camps and retreat centers, your colleges, your universities. So 20% off paint is a huge, benefit. So I don't know how often you all paint. If you have a school in your church, I'm sure a lot, just to kind of clean up some of the nicks. And so paint's a huge cost for a lot of our properties. So we just want to make sure that you all are aware of these savings at places you're probably already doing business with. Foundry Commercial is one of our newer partners. They're a commercial real estate company. They've been around for about 50 years. They do property management, portfolio analysis. If you have a church or if you have churches that are merging, they kind of help you think through that process. There's a lot of emotion around churches and all that, the funerals, weddings, and everything that take place. And so they have a specific religious department that, it really is their ministry to kind of help our properties kind of through some of these processes. Another partner that we just signed, it's Park Thrive. And so Park Thrive, it's a parking management company. If you have space that is, around a busy part of area, a metropolitan area or near a college, and it gives you the option to generate revenue on your parking lot. They send you all the signs. There's no contracts. You can, try it for a month if you don't like it. But if you're interested, again, in any of the partners, there's you can reach out on the website. There's different ways. It goes directly to the companies so they can follow up with you on these. Vanco is a partner. They've been a partner of ours for a long time. I know a lot of our churches are already working with them. They do online giving. They also have live streaming and church management. And they have some special pricing set up through us too for our Methodist churches and organizations. Interfaith Federal Credit Union. We get a lot of questions about like a church Visa card. That's something our finance department did offer, but it got to be too much work. So that's something that Interfaith does do, where your church or your camp and retreat center can have a card in your church, camp, whatever your organization is, in your name, where it's not in the pastor's name, it's not in your admin staff, where you're not having to deal with the different reimbursements. There's no annual fee, there's no credit check. They offer a lot like clergy loans. And so again, like just making you all aware. Some of the other ones, educational opportunities, tours, they offer, trips to the Holy Land. UMC Market is one. This is similar to how Amazon Smile worked. I don't know how many of you all were signed up with Amazon Smile, but basically all of our churches, I think our camp and retreat centers, they're all preloaded in there. So once you sign up, like your members, as their online shopping, I think they have over like 2,000 online retailers. Your members, basically your ministries can earn a donation back to your ministry just from your members shopping, online shopping. So as we go into the holiday season, I just want to bring your attention to that. The last one on here, these are our discount programs. So Mayflower Moving is they offer a 63% denominational discount to anyone. You do have to be moving somewhere over 50 miles. And you do have to have this form to get that savings. You can't just, call them and say, well, I'm Methodist. So just bring your attention. Again, this is under the partner section under member discounts, and that will take you to this form. And the other one is Avis rental car. I think they offer, I think it's a 20% discount. So if you're having to rent a car, know that this discount is available to you. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Pass it over to you, Jackie. Oh, you're muted.
All right. Would you like for me to discuss the local church
Yes.
services? Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Let me find that. Well, the local church services. Let me start with this. I'm sorry, I was not prepared for that. The local church services are all that we've discussed. Legal, HR, we perform all those different services for local churches. Kelly, could you pull up that form, please? The local church. Are you there? There we go. Thank you. So this is the flyer for local church camps and retreat ministries. So all the areas of service are provided on that flyer, but it's just that churches, some of them are more appropriate for churches than others. You'll notice that there's not a finance on there because finance services are broader, or legal services. So help desk support we provide, I believe even with support, which covers threat security and many other items, is maybe $3.12 per machine, per whether it's per device. So it could be it could be your network area, or it could be individual laptops. It depends on what your setup is. We build web pages. We've done many with churches and affiliated organizations in rebuilding web pages, and human resources doing recruitment, particularly in the administrative area. And travel and meeting planning, just setting up online registration has been the big one for local churches at events, where they can manage their own event page, but they pay for the online registration so people can use that page and register, and they can process funding through it. So that's high level what we do with local churches. We also have the same flyer available and on the website for agencies and annual conferences as well.
And universities and schools, we can work with anyone within our denomination. So we just highlighted the church. Again, we don't know the breakdown of who all's on the call today. But the services provided are they're pretty consistent among the different groups.
So there was also a question out there, Kelly, maybe you just want to mention about how does a church or a university sign up for the discounts at Home Depot and places like that?
Yes.
College and universities. Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to the easiest way with all. Okay, hold on. Wait, okay, let me stop share. Sorry. I was just going to show you on the website since we've been so visual today on this.
Would you like me to go to the partners page and share it?
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
So each of the partners has their own page. So Home Depot down here, you sign up right here. You can also, I think there's another sign up here. This goes directly to Home Depot. Through them, it's linked to a credit card. I don't know with a university, I think they could set it up through your procurement system, but for churches, it's mostly through a credit card. And so when you go, you shop on that credit card, you get all the discounts. Did that, and same with Ace Hardware. I'll go to the Ace Hardware page, enroll here. So on each of the partner page, it walks you through how to sign up for the discounts, Bear Paint right here. So it's at the top of every partner page. So I might keep sharing. I can't, what else? What other questions did we have?
I think that's it for questions, but I thought it might be a good idea to go to the homepage of the website if you're sharing.
Yep.
And just scroll down and show how the website is built and set up to, you can find webinars if you just go to the homepage. Yeah. And scroll down. So
yeah.
access of information, you can find webinars, you can find our news articles, and very importantly is you can sign up for the collaborative newsletter, because if you sign up for that newsletter, as new partners come out, as new resources are available, as new webinars are available, you will be able to get information about that through the newsletter, which we send out monthly.
Mm-hmm. And then again, on the homepage, it goes through the different departments that we have. But again, just for each department up here has their own page for more information. So we walked you through this resources page and the partner page, but everything kind of complements each other. So it's a little bit more user friendly.
And then you can always, the search section will bring you a bunch. You know, if you just type into the search on top, if you had a particular, you know, if you were looking for a particular form, it will resolve it pretty nicely for you. So the webpage, as well as us as individuals, we're here to provide you support and guidance and consultation or services, answer questions. Please feel like we're a one-stop shop. We don't always have the answers, or we're not always responsible for the things that you have questions about. However, we do build relationships with other agencies. We have contacts at other places so that we can find what you need and guide you to where that is. Someone had a question about new church starts, and we're actually working with the DSs right now. We're doing a meeting with them and UMC discipleship to prepare for that checklist that you might be looking for with new church starts. So that was a really good question. However, it wouldn't be we're not in leadership with that, but as that question came to us before from a pastor, we go and find partnerships to get answers for you. So please use us as a resource. We're more than happy to do that for you.
And the flyer that we showed with the different services for the local church and camp and retreat centers, all of those services are on our website, but that particular flyer, we'll get that to marketing. So that's sent along with the slide deck for this, and everything's hyperlinked, every resource we went over along with the resources page. And then the webinar is recorded. So you'll also get that in the follow-up email. So I think that answered all the questions.
I see some new thing. Okay, yeah.
So
the local, can you show where the local, the page for camp and retreat? Is there?
That's I don't think
flyer.
Yeah, it's the flyer. It's not on the website. So we'll send that.
Well, the flyer is on the website though. I'm sorry. It does. It's under where we do our groups, so a local church versus annual conference versus. Right now, I'm trying to remember where it is. I'm sorry. I was just pulling it up earlier. But we will be sending you all this information. If you want anything on local churches, we can send that. I mean, on annual conferences, we can kind of pretty much send out all the flyers. Yeah, let me type in local church. That'll help.
No, I can't find that.
That's okay. We'll get it to you though. So not
Yeah,
to
we'll
worry.
get it to you all. All right.
Any other questions?
How do I get tax ID for my church?
So that's the group ruling.
I'll share.
That's the group ruling. And if you want to go, if you're sharing that, Kelsey, then you want to go to
that I know where that is. Legal. So up here under services, under legal services, and you scroll down, it's right here under group ruling.
And when you click on it, what you're going to do is get a link to I think a link to the website. So this is where you would start here. And then the legal department will respond to you by email. You got to put in all the information. So you're saying you don't have a tax ID number at all? Let me see if I can see that out here. I think you'll have to do the robot piece. But if you're looking, okay. Yes, it's expired. Yes, if you have payroll, you definitely have an EIN. But this is where you would get, can you click on the FAQs over here for group ruling? This will walk you through the steps and the information that you need. So if you needed a new EIN, there's a way to get that. And then there's a way to have that EIN included as a nonprofit under UMC. But this is where you would start. Again, if you hit the contact us and you have questions, I can definitely set up a discussion if necessary with legal. They may be able to answer your question right out and I can just send that back. But the first step would be to walk through this process.
And Julie had asked if she needs permission to share. No, please share this with anyone and everyone, everything we shared today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much. And as we've said before, the presentation, there is actually a PowerPoint that has a lot of this information in it. That'll go out. It has hyperlinks in it. The recording of this presentation will also go out, and we'll include the camps and retreats flyer and what goes out as well. And I've captured those questions that you had, and we're going to just reach out because we have your email from when you registered. We're just going to reach out and make sure that you all get connected with the information that you're looking for. So thank you so much for Jackie and Kelly, and thank you all for participating. And we look forward to seeing you in future webinars, and let us know how we can help support your ministry.